I've been trying to do more shorts only because it seems, God has plenty of things he wants to set his children free with, and revelation and chain breaking wisdom and praise your way out of it moments. But so I try to do some shorts just to gain attention for people to look at the wisdom and revelation and knowledge of God, whether Jesus gives revelation, the Holy Spirit gives revelation, or God, our Father, gives revelation. They all carry different purposes and, functions that we need in different areas and roles of our lives. And so sometimes I just have to say, forget the short and put in what God is laying upon my heart, because if it sets me free, if it breaks changes, if it gives knowledge where someone could have said a thing over and over and over, but because it was not grace for you, because we all walk different lives, something and someone would have had to have gone through what you've been through for them to have that moment of revelation, for it to set them free. So who God has assigned to you is for you, right? And so that's why it'll be one person out of a million where God sent through that person that was assigned to you to break your chains and set you free from bondage, right? Depression, agreements, and whatever it is you're suffering with. So here's one of the things, God told me about. There's been many times that I didn't understand how I'm still alive. He also has things in his word that I love to question and break down and understand, because he's my Father. I want to know him. I want to follow what he says. I'm afraid of him. I fear him. To fear him is to love him. To love him is to know him and fear him and honor him, right? And so, I wrestle with some of the things, like, when I go to God, I want to break down. Okay, God, what do you mean by, in order to enter the kingdom of heaven, you have to be like one of these little ones? That means I have to become a child again. How do I become a child again? So I'm sitting there talking to Jesus, right? Because he wants intimacy with us. And whether you know it or not, God has made us in his image. And so everything that we go through and suffer and desire is specifically because that is a direct representation of God. He desires communion, relationship, love, adoration, affection, praise, time, being chosen, trust, loyalty, all things you want from other people. He has a sense of humor. Hey, original gangster poet, like, he's everything that you think you don't know where you got your personality from. It's him, right? So here's the funny thing about God. So I'm sitting there talking to Jesus, and I say, Jesus, what does that mean to be like a child? He said, all right. He said, I want you to recall. Now, and while I'm doing this, I want you guys to do the same thing. And think of Jesus talking to you, asking you to look over your life. He said, daughter, I want you to recall all the times I kept you. Now, you could be saved, unsaved, whatever it is. Now that you're an adult, wherever you are in your life, or even if you're a teenager or a child, and you're hearing this, and you cannot understand how you made it, I want you to recall all the times God kept you. And immediately when he said that, I was overcome by his goodness, because the Holy Spirit brought to my remembrance every time I could not understand how I made it. whether it was when I was a child and I was being attacked in my dreams by spirits and I didn't even know it was spiritual warfare, but the Spirit of God spoke for tongues for me to cast away demons, even though I didn't even know what tongues was yet, or about Jesus, right? When I didn't know how I would eat, where I would lay my head as a child, if I'd have clothes or shoes or food. I didn't know who would choose me, who would raise me. I couldn't see who would ever love me, protect me. I don't know how I didn't end up in prison for my whole life, how I didn't become a prostitute. I don't understand how when I should have been able to kill somebody, it didn't happen. When someone was trying to kill me, it didn't work. When the car flipped over and I shouldn't be alive because the hood should have split me between the middle and the car was on fire. When the guns were pulled in my mouth. When I sold my soul for acceptance and attention. When I practice in witchcraft, not believing it's real, or seeking out tarot card readers or soothsayers or psychics or to tell me about my future, if this man that didn't love me would stay, or whatever it was. I don't know how I made it. When God brought back to my remembrance, I just want you to look over your life and I want you to recall all the times God kept you from a child to now. You got it? Now, saved or unsaved, after he showed it to me, after he brought back things I didn't even think of, I have forgotten of his goodness and his mercy that I did not deserve. He said, now daughter, remember this, you did not know and you could not see. Do you get it? You didn't know he was there. You couldn't see he kept you. But that's what faith is. Faith is the things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. God is invisible. But his word, his truth, everything that he said, whether you feel you deserve it, whether you think you're too dirty or guilty, you weren't saved when you were little. You may not be saved now. You may be sinning even with you being saved. But think of this. If someone told you you had 2 days to live, the doctor said you had cancer, somebody told you you weren't worth it, you're never going to have anything, nobody's going to feed you, you may be going through rape, molestation, abandonment, everything looks like there is no way. There's no possible way that you're going to make it. You have an eviction notice. You've been fired. You've been put in the trunk, left for dead, shot. All kinds of things. You don't even understand how you're going to feed your kids. If your car is going to work, how you're going to get to work. You just don't know. He said, even though you cannot see and you do not know, trust me. See, that's the difference in children. You've got children that are beaten to death. And they die because they trust their parents unto death. They believe their love. They believe the protection. They believe that they love them. And that whatever they tell them, they don't even think another way. They just trust. They live their life not worried, not thinking, not having an anxiety, not, trying to see the future, wondering how it's going to change. They just trust. When they go to the table to eat, whether they cannot see how they got it, where it's coming from, how it's made, they trust. So if God said he loves you, if God said he'll heal you, if God said he'll protect you, if God said, I have everything, don't do it in your own mind. I'll provide for you. I love you. You are chosen. You are forgiven. You are called. You are redeemed. You are mine. Then trust him with unwavering, unquestionable faith, because he cannot fail, he does not lie, and he kept you even when you didn't even know you were being kept.